Hello, is there a neighbor, an elderly neighbor in your neighborhood that you worry about? Well, there's something that we can do about that. So stay tuned. Terri Maxeiner here. Hello everybody from Providence Solutions. We're glad you can join us. We have a special guest here today, and that's Hannah Martin. And Hannah, thank you so much. Hannah's really got an expertise to really help us understand. We're talking about elder abuse. It is a sad subject, but unfortunately it happens. And I think we really have to have some heightened awareness because sometimes it can be very subtle and we don't find out until it is an emergent situation. So one of the first things I wanted to ask Hannah about was this new thing that I'm hearing about, and that's self-neglect.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about it. It wasn't around when I was doing home care nursing 35 years ago. People were doing this, or they were self-neglecting, but it's just like, oh, I guess it's their choice. So tell me a little bit about how this mandate kind of came.
Yeah, so self-neglect started with the Illinois Department on Aging as of July 1st of this past year, so it is really new for us. But it's really a person's inability to properly take care of themselves. This can be forgetting to take medications, if they're wandering as a result of dementia, some other kind of Alzheimer's. This would be your hoarding cases, so those kinds of things. It's definitely a newer thing, so it's a little bit of experimentation, figuring out what's an appropriate case, but we are taking those cases as of July 1st.
Are you seeing kind of an increase in that?
Definitely.
Now, it really is. You know, we talked last week, we had a great little YouTube on social isolation.
Yeah.
You know, and these folks that are just living alone. So getting back to the self-neglect, is it usually, you know, if you're finding your cases, is it intentional or?
No, it's very unintentional. It's just one's inability to provide the things that they need for themselves anymore. So a diminished capacity, either mentally or physically, that results in them not being able to take care of themselves. It's nothing like, oh, I woke up today and I'm purposely not taking medications. It could be that, but maybe it's, I don't know where they are, or I'm not able to go fill them anymore, things like that.
So, and what I'm hearing too is access to care, that they don't have that person who could maybe go to the Walgreens or the grocery shopping. So, and I think that self-neglect is so important, you know, as us as healthcare providers. We can see those triggers, but here's, you know, Ethel living in the neighborhood and getting community awareness. You know, you haven't seen her out. What's going on? So, I mean, you just hope that, you know, neighbors are checking on neighbors like they used to do in those days. That was really wonderful. It was a great piece, you know, for people to do. So yeah, that self-neglect. And what does it look like for that reporting process? Do I have to give my name?
So you don't have to. We like to get a name because it provides further information for the caseworkers. Anyone that reports any case of abuse, neglect, or exploitation ever is completely protected by law. We can never release that information unless you were to give us your written consent. So we can never give that away.
Anonymous.
Correct.
Basically.
It is anonymous.
And the person you're checking on didn't know that Terri happened to call.
Exactly. We usually say, you know, we get these reports. It can be any concerned friend. It could be a banker. Sometimes they prod, but usually we can get them off of it and just say, you know, we're just here to see if you need any help. Can we get you any services? Is there anything we can bring in to prevent whatever this thing that is occurring?
Exactly. And I think too, as like the neighborly thing to do, you know, if you know there's an elderly person living in your neighborhood, you haven't seen them, and you know that, you know, they're not driving or no one is coming around, the newspaper is piling up or whatever. That's what we're called to do.
And we don't even need a name. So like you could give us an address and say, I know there's an elderly person that lives here. I don't know any information about them. I just know their name, and I know this is kind of what's going on, and that's enough for us. In most cases.
And well, and then I look at the piece too when you know, you actually come and knock on the door, that hopefully they will let you in. But of course, you know, that is the right to refuse. And folks do. So great, Hannah. I'm just so happy we've got this awareness about that self-neglect. Like you said, it's not intentional. They just might not have any other access or help in the house, and I think that's great. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So much.
Thank you.
Well, we're so thankful that Hannah had joined us. And Hannah, give us some information of how I could pass on a number for someone to call.
Of course. So if you are looking to make a report, there's a 24-hour hotline. It is answered by real people, which is always a plus.
It is.
You can call 1-866 800-1409.
Great. And we also will have that on our website. So our website is www.providencelifesolutions.com. Of course, if you have any questions regarding what we've been talking about today, please don't hesitate to pick up the phone and give us a call. And the number is very easy, 708-342-8090. Thank you so much for joining us today.